What's up, guys? It's John with National Sports Entertainment, and I heard the request, so I wanted to at least do my best to get out a daily video or just more often. So I've been last couple days been trying to get them out. We had a good night tonight. Suns came through, covered, and the Celtics did. I think again a lot of these games are going to come down to the line. The public psychology. If two teams are going back and forth, I feel like in a lot of cases, the public's just gonna, the Sixers won the first game, Boston won the second. I think a lot of people just off of that psychology were liking the Sixers, and again, I just thought the 2 points was a little odd, being favorites. They had just won, but before that they had just lost, and it's in Philly, so it was interesting. So that one was closer, like I said, than the Suns. The Suns was I thought, an easy pick. They weren't going to go down 3-0. And another parallel I'm noticing is, again, Booker and Clay. They both had very clutch games to, give their team a win, and I think they're going to push that narrative all the way to the Western Conference Finals, where we do get the Warriors and we get the Suns. So those are the teams that I like. I know a lot of people are saying Lakers, a few are saying Nuggets, and admittedly Nuggets would obviously screw the public the most. But again, I think narratives reign supreme, and they pushed this narrative with the Suns last year. They couldn't be beat in the desert, and then they weren't so good when they left. So I think this is a 7-gamer, and I think the Suns do. There's no reason I don't think they don't come back and win this series. Now, I wanted to go into baseball, and for baseball, I'm going to, because we're already thinning out as far as teams left that are defying history. So if we go back to just say last year and you look at the over-unders, you see the highest cover, it was around 60%, and the lowest was in the 40s. And then over-under, we had a 70, couple in the high 60s, and then we had a couple on the low. No, this is this year, I'm sorry. I was going to say there's no way that happened. We had, 55 was the highest, and lowest was 38. And then you see it's a 4-point jump after Houston to Detroit, because traditionally teams don't finish much below 40%. So anyway, knowing that, we're in the middle of series right now, so I'm not just going to pick sweeps, but there's about 6 games I like. You see the Royals here at a 34% cover, so I absolutely love the Royals. Here are the Marlins. They're an interesting one because they are underdogs, which means if we were to take the Marlins plus 1.5, now we're getting like minus 150, and I don't like to do that. The Royals, on the other hand, are favorites, so we're going to be doing minus 1.5 on them. And this is literally how I pick my metrics, especially in the beginning of the season, and it's the best. It's the most tried and tested way. So we go to the over-under, and you see Boston here at almost 70%. So I love the under on the Red Sox. You get to the Yankees, Guardians, you see they're just well below these other teams. I like them both to go over. So just to make it a little simple, I have a little notepad, and this is essentially my picks for today, essentially. I got the Rangers under, the Yankees over, the Guardians over. I got the Sox under. Royals covering the A's is essentially minus 105 or something. It's a 50-50 game like the others. And Marlins, I have them beating the Cubs. Sure, they might cover them and not beat them, but I'm just going to play the odds and say that if they cover, they more than likely will probably win. So that you can see is playing plus 160. Now, these are all going to be leg ones. So anyone new to the channel, what I do is it's like a variation of a Martingale. But the best I could say is if you go back and you check, any video of my 170 video playlist, the daily bet rig log, whatever it's called, it's in one of my playlists, and I go over, you'll see every single one we've done, every leg 1, every leg 2, every leg 3, and why we're up plus 160 units or something. Even during the down spots, you'll see we quickly come back. So overall, just like I said, since this channel launched, we're up about 160 units. I haven't tallied them in a while. But anyway, these are all going to be leg ones. Now, let's say we split them. Well, we can't. Yeah, let's say we split them. Then let's say the Rangers don't go under. Then we're going to pick Rangers leg 2 under, okay? Now, it doesn't always work exactly like that, but that's the gist of it. And we're not perpetually doubling up either. If we miss a leg 2, miss a leg 3, I'll often close it out. That way we're not just chasing down and destroying our profits. So this is for the newer people. I know a lot of people have been watching. You kind of know this already. But for the people that don't know what I mean by leg, that's all it is. It's not a parlay. It's just I'm taking the Rangers under. And if they don't go under, I'm going to play it again because I just seriously doubt we're going to have teams like the Rangers, Guardians in the 70-something percentage, Red Sox, etc. Now, as far as over-under, the reason I don't have a number is because it can change. So what I do is because I noticed team rankings lines up always perfectly with ESPN's closing spread, okay? So, for example, for the Twins Guardians, when I'm picking that over-under, I'm going to make sure I get as close to this closing spread as I can. This might move to 8. It might move down to 7. Probably not down to 7, but it could move. So, right now, it's 7.5. So, if that stays that way, then obviously it's just Guardians over 7.5. Now, sometimes it'll move, and it would have been nice if we got in early. But I just like to line it up at the ESPN official spread because, as you see, now they don't have for over-unders. But if you go down and see the ATS against the spreads, 12 and 20. So even taking the Guardians on the money line wouldn't be bad, but I'm not going to. My point is, 12 and 20, it tells you their records against the spread here. This is the only one that matches up absolutely perfectly with this website here. So that's why I use, the ESPN closing spread because they match up with 12 and 20. See, Guardians. They match up perfectly with the team rankings here. But like I said, I don't want to play a ton. But they are a good play if you want to play them, the money line, because if you play them plus 1.5, you're going to get terrible odds. But again, this is about normal, 63%. That's why I'm not fading the Rays. I'm just going to let that play out. As far as the over-unders here, 70%, 67, that's really high. That's why I like the under for the Red Sox. That's why I like the under for the Rangers. Even the A's are pretty high. And then on the lower end, that's why I like the Yankees. And then as far as going over the Guardians. So again, nothing too fun. This is basically the daily videos I put out. I'll be going more into matchups and things of that nature. In public lines, more when we're picking teams not to get swept. But I'm not familiar with the series going on right now. I don't know who has what win. I just went with the metric that really never fails. We'll have like 1 or 2 teams a year. Dallas did it to us this year in NBA. Houston University did it to us. TCU. But what happens is, obviously, there's 30 teams. So we'll have 1 or 2 teams that perpetuate. Oh, Tulsa did it to us in college, if you remember college basketball. So we might have a team like the Yankees that just won't go over all, and it's just terrible. Or a team like the Marlins that just don't cover all year. And they'll cover, but not great. But it'll be made up for because for the most part, we're going to be getting teams that are going to be finishing at least 40%. So if you want me to go more into cover rates, I can. I've done it a lot in prior videos. But if you're newer and you're like, oh, what's he talking about? Like, why does this matter? I'll go into why it's literally in historic, from a historic measure, it's never happened where teams just finish under a certain amount against a run line or over a certain amount. There's been extreme outliers, and even they have been somewhat within norms. So I can go more into that. Again, the baseball, there's less narratives that I've noticed. I just go more into, again, the metrics. That's the best way to describe it. And then for basketball, to me, that's riddled with narratives. As we saw tonight, we saw Booker almost do a 50-piece. Of course, without Chris Paul, they won. Wasn't too hard to predict that one. And it'll be interesting. But I still like, Suns. I still like the Sixers. Like I said, I think both of these are going to be 7-game series. So it should be fun. They want to get more ratings, and they're all pushed as gritty teams. And I think they want the Nuggets to look believable. And they look believable right now. So even if they lose to the Suns, which I believe they will. I think they did their job. And I think they were going to do that with the Grizzlies had Ja not screwed up. So it should be interesting. And I think it'll be a entertaining playoffs, to say the least. So I'll be going over the Warriors-Lakers because I know that's coming up tomorrow. I just want to see what the talking heads are saying and essentially what the line's at. As I said before, if it's like a 50-50 line, that'll be interesting. If the Lakers are for like 6-point favorites or something, that would be very odd, I think. I don't think they should be. So it's going to be revealing looking at the lines, and a lot of times they'll change them too. So I'll get them out in the morning. But I wanted to get this out because I didn't want to mix up, baseball and basketball in the same video. I just thought I'd get out the recap of tonight and then baseball for the people that have been wanting to do some daily plays. I know playing 1 or 2 games isn't that fun. So now we got about 8 tomorrow because we'll have some basketball as well. So take care, everybody, and happy earnings.